Welcome back to Kirtland High School for the second round of the 2015 OHSAA State Dual Wrestling Tournament. This is Region 19B. The Kirtland Hornets defeated Newberry 51-25. They advance to the second round here where they will wrestle Liberty, a 48-33 winner over Cardinal in the first round. We will again start at 106 pounds, and that means Brendan Williamson for Kirtland. Liberty has three wrestlers that weighed in at that weight class, so they can do some bumping. We'll have to wait to see who the Leopards send out there. But we're just about to get underway here at Kirtland. Again, I'm Steve here with OhioVarsity.com, and with me, as always, is Dan Kissimmee. Dan, some great wrestling already, and now we've got the final round here of the Region B quarterfinal. Thoughts so far?
I thought Kirtland wrestled well that first match. I was very surprised and impressed with Newberry. I thought their young wrestlers wrestled really, really well.
No doubt. They came out, we talked about it early, they came out, they were the aggressor in most of the early matches. They were hungry. They weren't intimidated out here as freshmen and sophomores. I think Coach Ewell has done a great job with that group. He's taught them that you've got to be aggressive. You've got to keep moving. You've got to do all those little things to win some close matches. And they won a couple, and they've got a bright future ahead of them. What I saw in Mat 2, kind of similar. As Cardinal, they came out. I talked to Coach Ziegler after the match, and he said, the kids wrestled much better than they did a week ago when we saw them out at Cardinal in that quad. They won a lot of matches that last week they might otherwise would have lost, but some big pins out of their big guns. Trent and Ian Mast, Brandon Nykirk, Craig Schanauer with a decision. Khalil Samir had a nice pin for the Huskies. Unfortunately, they just gave up those 4 forfeits that cost them the match. You lose by 15 and you give up 24 points in forfeits. So, it's tough to overcome that. Kirtland has a couple in the middle of their lineup, so we're going to see some eager moments or some anxious moments over on the Kirtland side as we go through. I think you're going to see Coach Francis bump his lineup a little bit, try and put his team in the best position to win this dual meet. And, of course, it's always going to come down to those bonus points.
And the difference in this match is going to be the performance of the upper weights. The Kirtland's going to need wins from guys like Anthony Porter, Dylan Chay, Dylan Deemer. Deemer actually gets sort of a break tonight because he's a smaller heavyweight, and he's been facing a lot of very large ones. And the heavyweight for Liberty tonight will be a 215-pounder. So it'll be a little bit different of a feel for Dylan Deemer tonight. Yeah,
where he's always been the guy doing the heavy lifting. He's going to be the one that is able to coast a little bit on his size. Of course, you still have to go out and wrestle the match. It's not a given that 215-pounder is going to roll over and let Deemer pin him. And Deemer knows that from some of the big guys that he's wrestled. He's had to go out and work for it, and he's going to have to do the same here tonight.
Now, Liberty does have a full lineup. They do.
So for Liberty at 106 pounds, it's Christian Kajowski, a freshman with a 9-11 mark coming into tonight. For Kirtland in the yellow singlet, it's junior Brendan Williamson, who is now 20-1 on the year after his win in the first round.
20-1.
Nice record.
Jeez, oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and a nice takedown right away. 6 seconds into the first period, and Kajowski gets away 2-1. Lead for Williamson.
Yeah, as we talked about, Kirtland's going to need some bonus points, and this is one of those weight classes where I think they're looking for him, and Brendan already with Kajowski on his back.
Yeah, they're looking for him, and they're getting him right now. 1.5 minutes left in the first period.
Williamson will be up 7-1 after the 3-point near fall if he doesn't finish Kajowski off here. And there it is. 40 seconds in, Brendan Williamson with the fall will give Kirtland the early 6-0 lead. And again, those bonus points, you need them.
Absolutely. And in this tightly contested of a match, it's interesting looking at the bracket that Independence was seated 5th on the other half. Independence just beat Kirtland last week. So it's going to be interesting if Kirtland comes out of this half, how they do against the tough other half.
Yeah, I heard something about that Independence seeding. There was a coach out there that actually seeded Independence below Warrensville Heights.
Warrensville Heights in D3? Wow.
Yeah, and this coach ended up, his team is now seated number 4. Independence is number 5.
Gotcha. So there was a little bit of hanky-panky going on there.
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know how a team with 2 returning state qualifiers and almost a full lineup is going to be seated below Warrensville Heights. No offense to Warrensville Heights. You know, they've got some kids out there trying too, but just not the same caliber as an Independence.
Wow. And Peterson with an early takedown with 1:40 left in the first period. It is 2-0 Peterson. He's riding tough with a leg in. He's got his hips nice and high, looking for a power half, and he's getting a near fall count right here. Now he's got to keep him in bounds, though.
Yeah, they're right on the line. One of those toes. Williamson's got his foot on the line. Farah has his foot on the line. And there they go. They're called out of bounds.
Really good start for Peterson.
Did I call him Williamson?
Yeah,
it's Peterson. Peterson, Williamson, you know.
But good job by Peterson. 4-0 lead with 1:08 left in the first period. Returns him to the mat. For Liberty, this is Mustafa Farah.
Yeah, he's 9'11" on the year. Sophomore.
For Kirtland, as we said, Mike Peterson, a senior. He is 10-10 on the year, 4th at Northwestern. A transfer from, I believe it was Avon.
Avon is correct. While we've got a break here, I want to thank some of our sponsors. First, ScoreStream, which is one of our newest sponsors. ScoreStream is a scorekeeping app. It's a fantastic app. I use it all the time now with all of my high school sports coverage. Give it a shout. Take a look at it, scorestream.com. It's very easy to use. Funds to Orgs is a no-calorie fundraiser. It's a used shoe drive. So you're raising money for your organization, but you're also helping deliver shoes to some of those third world countries where they may not have shoes on their feet. So the used shoe drive is a fantastic option. Visit funds2orgs.com for more information. Athletic Performance Training Center. Check out Brian and Megan's blog at www.athleticperformancetc.com. A lot of great sports strength and conditioning information there. And we're back in action here at 113 pounds.
They reset in the middle. Great job with those plugs, by the way. They reset in the middle, and Peterson's still on top. They cleaned up some blood on the mat. That's why there was a break in the action. Peterson getting the legs in again, trying to look for the power half. And he does have the half in on the far side. I don't know if the camera can, and now the camera can get it now. Looking to turn.
There's the count.
The ref holding down, I believe, a 2. So he will have at least 2 near fall points. And that will extend his lead. Is that a 2 or a 3?
Looked like a 3. Got to wait till they throw it up on the scoreboard. The referee was turned to the side, so we got the side view of his fingers. Still showing 5-0 on the scoreboard.
It's more than, yeah. They switched to the fourth
and now we're in period 4, yeah. Okay, it was a 2-point near fall. It's 7-0, second period. Mike Peterson in charge.
Now, Peterson is on the bottom now. Farah looking to turn. Peterson looking to escape. Farah's got a really nice half in there. Peterson reaching back, looking for, I believe, a Peterson. And, Peterson looking for Peterson. How about that?
Nice. Nice play on words there.
I didn't even mean to do that. I just slipped into it.
Again, this would be big for Kirtland, as they're going to give up some forfeits in the middle of the dual meet here.
Well, the thing about this match is he's had him on his back a couple times. So, if he doesn't pin him in this move or the next one, it will end up being a technical fall, which is good. but it's 5 instead of 6. You want the pin as a Kirtland coach here.
This will put him up 12-0. He's got 40 seconds left to try and finish him off here in the second period.
And if you're on your back, 40 seconds feels like an eternity.
And there it is. 3 minutes, 29 seconds. Mike Peterson with the fall over Mustafa Farah. That will increase Kirtland's lead to 12-0 heading into the 120-pound bout. Kirtland will send out Daniel Janke, and we'll have to wait just a minute here to find out who is coming out for Liberty.
Zimbardi. James Zimbardi, he's a sophomore. 13-13 on the year. He was a district qualifier last year. Janke is also a sophomore, 9-4. Actually, he's 10-14 on the year with the win in the earlier duel.
Kirtland doing what it has to do here early in the match, getting those extra bonus points. Two matches, 2 pins.
And this will be a big one here. They're going to need a win from Janke in this match. Or at least I should say a win from Janke in this match would be very big. It would be huge.
It's one of those swing matches,
yeah.
Definitely.
Especially over a returning district qualifier.
The key here is when any wrestler goes on the mat, you want to win. But the real key is if you lose, don't lose big.
Absolutely.
3 points is a lot different than 6.
Absolutely. And they get into a double under position for Zimbaldi, double overs for Janke. They get out of it and circle out to the edge of the mat. They'll reset in the center. 1:23 left in the first period. And now they got both scoreboards working on this match, and that'll help us out.
That makes it a little easier,
tremendously.
I don't have to crank my neck over anymore.
Right.
I want to give another shout-out to our cameraman here, Noah Wilson of Newberry. Thanks for volunteering, Noah.
Really nice shot here by Zimbardi. But they go out and reset in the center. That was kind of a win for Janke there as they went out, but...
I also want to give a shout-out to my photographer for the evening, Clarice Aquila, senior from Kirtland. She just gave me the thumbs up. You can visit OhioVarsity.com's Twitter feed for a great shot of Clarice doing the back handspring. So she's not only a great photographer, but she's pretty talented as an athlete as well.
Zimbardi with a single leg high. Janke counters with a whizzer, pushing the head away. Zimbardi switches to a double and can't finish. They reset in the center. 32 seconds left in the first period. Zimbardi with double unders,
and he gets it
right to his back.
Wow, that was big for Zimbardi.
Janke flips over to not give up the near fall. Or did he give up 2 near fall? He did give up 2 near fall.
Wow, that would have been a quick count.
Yeah. And it's potentially dangerous.
There's a point for Janke. Oh, I'm sorry. That's
going
to Zimbardi. What did he say he did? I don't know.
Was it pulling the shirt, the singlet or something? I don't know what it was. Usually the penalty point's against the top guy.
Right. Must have been doing something to keep himself off his back, but it was hard to tell from our angle. I'm not technologically advanced enough to go back and get a replay here on the video.
Right.
Maybe another day.
In either case, Janke has 8 seconds left in the first period, and
it's now 6-0.
2 points for a penalty, or was it something else?
Unless they gave him 3 for the near fall, but
that would be very quick. I don't know.
There's a chance for Janke here. Oh, that would have been big if he could have gotten 1 or 2 there.
That would have been huge.
But instead, he'll go into the second period trailing 6-1. Kirtland leads the dual meet 12-0. Again, the winner advances to the Region 19 finals next week, most likely at number 1 Rootstown or number 2 Akron Manchester, unless there's a big upset out of that region.
Zimbardi is winning these tie-ups, and that's really what's allowing him to score. When you see him extend and get those underhooks and coil back up, he's winning those positions.
He's almost like a heavyweight in that regard, where you're scoring off that tie.
Oh,
almost a throw there.
Yeah, and he sunk his hips too. He just didn't flip them. Janke trying for a dump similar to what he did in the last match he wrestled. But really, Janke's going to need some offense here, and he's got to do it, I almost want to say not tying up or countering whatever tie-up Zimbardi has.
Yeah, Zimbardi's very long, Janke's very long, similar body styles. It looks like Zimbardi's a little bit more physical. And in that tie-up, he's controlling that tie. And like you said, Janke's going to have to look for another way to score, try and stay out of that tie, use some kind of a head tap or some kind of a head fake and shoot in on the legs.
Or counter the tie. Like, the first thing I was thinking of was a Russian.
Right.
But then again, maybe Zimbardi's comfortable with a Russian. So, you never know. I mean, you try things as a coach. And
right,
Coach is actually working with him right now on exactly that. So
I'd say, you got to use a duck under or just keep moving. Circle, right. And shoot at a leg. Try and avoid that tie-up because Zimbardi definitely has a physical advantage there.
Absolutely. But it is... Oh, they changed the score again. We went from 6-1 to 5-0. I don't know how that happened. Now it's 6-0.
Very interesting here at Kirtland. 1:24 left in the second period. Both wrestlers on their feet. Again, the tie-up. And there's Zimbardi off the tie. He goes to the leg.
Zimbardi's got that really deep and nice butt. Oh, he switches up to a double. He's going to get the two here. And Janke gets the escape.
And Rare right on the leg. See, he's got to avoid that tie-up, and he's got to shoot at the legs.
Yeah, and that's how he's going to be able to score. He's got to find little opportunities, little windows, little angles, and hit those angles hard.
Right, and you create those angles by moving your feet. Circle one way, circle the other, get your opponent coming in at the angle you want him, and attack.
And now he matches that aggressiveness on the tie-up. I like to see that.
Nice duck under.
Little duck under there.
Nice. Janke scores. It's 8-3. A little bit of confidence boost for him.
Yeah, and that really changes the complexion of the match. When it was 8-1, we were worried about, okay, is he getting up a major? Is he getting up a tech? Now he's scoring, and maybe this will be, a decision. Maybe he'll be able to score more. Zimbardi is looking to get away. Janke with a 2-on-1.
Second period comes to a close. You've got James Zimbardi of Liberty up 8-3 on Kirtland's Daniel Janke. 120 pounds. Kirtland leads the dual match 12-0.
Janke will choose the bottom position. If he escapes, he'll cut the lead. Oh, he does. Liberty lets him up immediately, so it will be 8-4. And when it's within 5 points, there's always a chance at the end of the match of a big move going one way or the other. Janke meets the tie-up.
Nearing the minute 30 mark. They're stalling on Zimbardi.
And that was a good call. Zimbardi can't back straight away. If he's gonna slow the pace of the match down, he's gonna be with his tie-ups.
Right now he's trying to pull Janke into him, setting something up. Right there at the other mat, they go out of bounds.
And Janke resets. He's ready to go. Janke looks more energized in this period than he did in the first
There's
period.
another stalling call. Zimbardi hit for the second time. That'll make it 8-5. Janke cuts the lead. Down 3 with 1:10 to go.
Zimbardi inside on that tie. He's going to win that tie.
Looked like Janke attempted a high crotch there. Now he's got the Russian arm tie.
Janke's got to stay inside.
1 minute to go. It's one of those big swing matches in this dual meet. There's another stalling call on Zimbardi. And another point for Janke. It's now 8-6.
And if it happens again, it's 2 points. If it happens again, it's a disqualification.
Right. Yeah, Zimbardi's now got his back up against the wall with a lead. The onus is still on Janke. He's got to score, but all Zimbardi has to do is show some aggression and stay active. Right now he's trying to get a lift under the arms. He can hang on there all day.
Janke's got to get his elbows down if he's going to overhook.
At this point, he's got to get out of bounds and get a reset. And there it comes. Oh, now they're going to call Janke for fleeing the mat. There it is, folks. The 2-point stall. It's now 8-8.
You don't see that very often.
You sure don't. But I'll tell you what, I can't disagree with it. All he's done is back up. And Janke gets to choose his starting position. He's got 21 seconds to win the match. He needs an escape.
He's got to get his head up and his hips up.
And there's the 2. He does it. It's 10-8. 15 seconds to go. Zimbardi with the escape. It's 10-9. 9 seconds. Remember, Janke has the stalling call on him. He's got to fight this off. 2 seconds. They're out of bounds with 1.3 seconds to go.
Circle left.
And that's it, folks. Daniel Janke, unbelievable victory. 10-9. What a win for Kirtland. That is huge when it comes to that team score, and it's huge for Daniel Janke to come back from that deficit.
It was huge, and when you consider it was 8-1 in favor of Zimbardi, that was a very improbable and awesome comeback for Kirtland.
Wow, that was exciting.
It really was.
That's why you keep wrestling.
Absolutely, and Daniel Janke, really the difference was when he started aggressively meeting Zimbardi's tie-ups. Even at the lighter weights, tie-ups make a huge difference. Now we'll see Blake Andonian for Kirtland.
And for Liberty, it's sophomore Ben Sattler who comes in with a 6-18 record. Andonian was 9-4 entering tonight. He gets the quick takedown.
I have to think Andonian pushes him away, gives the escape up 2-1, working for another takedown here. Snap down, front offense position, spins around, gets a 2. Andonian looks angry.
And I don't think he was too happy with that first match.
No.
But I'll tell you what, that Daniel Janke match there just energized the place, and those Kirtland wrestlers have to be feeling pretty confident right now.
Absolutely. Sattler is on his belly. You cannot wrestle from your belly, and Andonian makes him pay, bring him right over to his back. And these are the bonus points you were talking about earlier. Andonian has 55 seconds to pin Sattler, and he does.
He only needed 4 of those. It's a fall in 1 minute 9 seconds. That is going to push Kirtland's lead to 21-0 over Liberty. Heading into 132 pounds, where we've got for Kirtland Gus Mormino, and for Liberty it'll be 1 second here.
Ernie Turner, right? Maybe not. They're going to announce it. So.
Wrestling for Liberty at 132, Ray Malika.
It'll be Ray Malika. He's a sophomore, 1-5 on the year, versus Gus Mormino, also a sophomore, 6-13 on the year. Gus gets in a front offense position, kicks his legs back, spins around, gets the first two, and puts him right to his back.
I'll tell you what, Kirtland's feeling good right now. Up 21-0. You've got your 132-pounder in control of his match, and you have your two big guns yet to go.
And this is the second match from Mormino that he has turned his opponent to his back with an arm bundle, also known as a butcher.
Gus the Butcher Mormino has a ring to it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Start that hashtag, Gus the Butcher.
Mormino, more of a counter wrestler, but tonight he's been very aggressive. His offensive attempts have been really nice.
And there's the fall. 1 minute and 8 seconds into the match. Mormino with the win over Mollica. That's going to push Kirtland's lead to 27-0. Heading into that 138-pound bout. For Kirtland, it's going to be Evan Francis. And for Liberty, it'll be just a minute here. But, Dan, 27-0. You've got two state qualifiers to go. Kirtland's got to be feeling good.
Absolutely, I think they are. And they got Dylan Deemer at the heavyweight position, who I believe is one of the best heavyweights in the state. So, and Francis will be facing
Wrestling for Liberty at 138, Ernie Turner.
Ernie Turner, a senior from Liberty. He's 10-15 on the year. Francis, 22-2. He's ranked 8th in the state. He was 3rd at South, 2nd at Northwestern, and is a 2-time state qualifier. Francis from Jefferson, wrestled there as a youth wrestler and at Madison.
Quick takedown, 20 seconds into the match. He's up 2-0, already in and out the leg on again.
And this is what Francis did in the first match, too. He made pretty quick work of his opponents, not really wasting any time, getting some offense in right away.
Yeah, I think he needs some mat time here today, and so a few more takedowns, and then do what you got to do.
And he gets a player's lock. And
maybe I'm wrong. No.
What's right to yeah. You know, a thing for Francis, too, is that he wrestles with Clayton Davidson every day, and that's got to help him.
It would hurt me.
It would hurt me, too.
I wouldn't want to wrestle with Clayton Davidson every day.
Yeah. No, I've been wrestling with Deemer, though.
Yeah, better than you than me, Dan.
Yeah.
When I was at Berkshire, I'd wrestle with our heavyweight. I was fine, and then I wrestled our 132-pounder, and I hurt my knee. Go figure.
That was Malchus?
Logan Henderson. That was a few years ago. Yeah, it was 2011. I still blame him. You know, the weather, it rains, my knee hurts, I blame Logan.
Yeah. And Francis looking for near fall
He's
points
got 25
here.
seconds.
He's already got a 10-3 lead. Gets the near fall points there to push the
Now
lead to 13-3. Still in the first period. Wrestling, I wrestled Deemer and Davidson in the room, and not much for Davidson, but it's a different feel for sure.
First period ends with Evan Francis of Kirtland on top, 13-3. And now the scoreboard just changed to show 2-3, but obviously that's wrong. Kirtland leads 27-0. Francis chooses the top position to start the second period. It's 13-3.
Francis choosing the top position is unusual, I would say, for Coach Francis, but you understand why he's going to do it, because he wants those bonus points.
Yeah, and you know, you're up 13-3, and what better way to get some work on the top that you might need come March you do it in a match like this where you're trying to get the pin, but you also can get some work in on top. We already know he can work the takedowns. He got 5 of them. So.
And you don't have many more points to waste, you know? I mean, not waste, but to burn. Because if you take him down, I mean, that puts you closer to a tech. Technical victory by technical fall is a victory by at least 15 points, and you get 5 team points for that. You get 6 team points if you pin your opponent. So a pin is what you want.
And he's got it coming up right here. He's got that in deep. Nice camera work by Noah Wilson, getting right in there. And there's the fall, 107 in the second period. That's a 2-minute, 53-second fall for Evan Francis of Kirtland. That's going to push Kirtland's lead to 33-0. And you still have Clayton Davidson on your side, so things are looking pretty good for the Hornets. We move to 145.
For Kirtland, well, we should be seeing Chris Brown.
They've got him warming up over there, so it looks like he's coming out. It's going to be a forfeit for Liberty.
See, I didn't see him coming out. I'm like...
Yeah, so looks like Brown's going to bump up to 152. So at 145, I've got to assume that was Morgan Weinreber.
It looked like him, yeah.
So now the score is 33-6 as we head into the 152-pound bout.
Wrestling for Liberty at 152, Alec Coleman. Wrestling for Kirtland at 152, Chris Brown.
And that's what happens in these duels. You could do some creative bumping, and Kirtland will have Brown, instead of wrestling
the district qualifier and Weinreber.
Yeah, they wrestle.
You go against the sophomore Alec Coleman, who's 5-20 coming into coming into tonight. Chris Brown was 8-10, so should be a pretty decent match.
Brown, a junior, Coleman, a sophomore. Brown won his earlier bout. Coleman with a shot attempt. Brown kicks his leg away. Coleman again with a shot attempt, but really never got it.
Interesting to note is Kirtland had Liberty had to send their 145-pounder out first. So that means they will also have to send out their 160-pounder first. So if they send out, who are they going to send out to face Clayton Davidson at 160? Right. And Kirtland has the opportunity to bump Davidson up to 170. So that'll be interesting to see if there's any play going on there.
Absolutely. And Brown gets the first takedown. There are 45 seconds left in the first period. Brown with a 2-0 lead. Now looking to also turn with that arm bundle. But good job by Coleman getting up so that he could not do that. Now Brown looking for a half on the near side. He's got to get his leg out of there, though. And he does. Getting near fall points. And he gets the pin. 16.9 seconds left in the first period.
Chris Brown, 144 over Alec Coleman. That's going to push Kirtland's lead to 39-6.
And Chris Sakanis will come out for Kirtland at 160 pounds, the senior. 16-7 on the year. He was third at Northwestern, fourth at South.
I like what Coach Francis did there. You're going to get Clayton Davidson a match against a district qualifier, so should be a good bout at 170.
Yeah, a district qualifier who is a senior with a 21-10 record. That should be a good one.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see at this time of the year. You don't want your better wrestlers taking forfeits or getting weaker opponents. You want to see them challenged at this point. Nice takedown by Chris Sakanis.
And I believe for Liberty this is Muad Elawadi.
Nice job on the name.
Thanks. He is a freshman. He's 6-21 on the year.
Sakanis getting the near fall points.
Sakanis really obviously an advantageous position here, being on top. And
tell you what, Chris Sakanis can seal Kirtland's win right here with a win, any type of win. And there it is, the pin at 46 seconds. Chris Sakanis, and that is going to seal Kirtland's victory over Liberty. The current score is 45-6. You've got 5 weight classes to go. The best Liberty could do is make it 45-36. We're moving to 170, where you've got Clayton Davidson versus Logan Weinreber.
Now, when you have a wrestler going up against an upper weight, a heavier weight, you would think that the upper weight would have an advantage on the ties, be able to outmuscle him. The problem for Liberty in this situation is Clayton Davidson is extremely strong and very comfortable with those upper body ties. That's his power position.
Oh, no doubt. And you know, the thing about Clayton Davidson is he's so big, he's so physical, so strong, but he wrestles like a lighter weight.
Absolutely. And he just got that upper body tie and underhook right there, took him over with a knee pick and got the first takedown. It's 2-1, Davidson over Weinreber.
You know, as good as Clayton Davidson is, his first bout in the state tournament last year, he went up against a kid that ended up winning his 4th state title. You know, Clayton was the number 4 seed. Was that Danishek?
It was Danishek.
Yeah. And, you know, it just shows you how different those 4-time state champs are. I mean, Clayton Davidson's one of the best wrestlers here in Northeast Ohio, one of the best 160-pounders in the state. And last year he goes down, and Danishek, I mean, just made him look like he was a newcomer freshman. And
yeah,
you know, I would like to see Clayton this year wrestling Danishek to see how different it could be.
Absolutely.
You know, he's got that state tournament experience under his belt now, and you don't have that, you know, that new experience, that nervousness that you might have in that first time. And but
and you know, and being psyched out, being there really it does make a huge difference.
Oh, no question. I mean, as a reporter walking through the tunnel, you get the you know, the nerves stick up, you know, the hair on your arms stick up. It's a real nervous experience.
Absolutely. And Clayton's one of those kids. He's so calm, so consistent. I don't know that I've ever coached or been around a kid who has had a better attitude than Clayton Davidson. Right now, Davidson 6-1 over Weinreber. 18 seconds left in the first period. Davidson looking to turn. Davidson undefeated on the year at 22-0, actually 23-0 after that last match.
First period comes to a close with Davidson up 6-1.
And he's ranked 8th in the state at 160 pounds, a returning state qualifier. If he's 8th in the state, I'd like to see who's 1 through 7 because...
Well, you'll probably get to see him in the next few weeks as we get into sectionals, districts, and, of course, state tournament in Columbus.
Absolutely. And Kirtland has had their share of wrestlers ranked high in the last several years. Guys like Don Stokeham, the state champion, Royal Brett Traeger, 2-time state placer, Nick Zelia, state placer.
Well, you know as well as I do, those rankings are based a lot on what you do in Columbus the previous year.
Absolutely.
You know, obviously Clayton didn't have the best tournament down there, so he's going to come in as a returning state qualifier, but he didn't place, and that's kind of what the Josh Lowe's and the Borough fans are looking at, and you know, he's winning matches now. If they were, you know, mid-season ranks, I think he'd be a little bit higher.
Josh does a great job, man. He's actually a Beechwood grad.
Soccer player, never wrestled.
Right.
But big wrestling fan, got to hand it to him. Another takedown for Davidson. It's 8-1.
Weinreber now, well, he's... I would have thought he would have had more of a chance with that dump attempt than the single. The single he just wasn't going to get, period. Now he's trying to get a sucker drag, I believe.
Kirtland has won 8 individual matches in this dual meet, 7 by fall.
That is domination right
That's
there.
getting it done.
Yeah.
And the longest pin was 3 minutes and 29 seconds, so midway through the second period. This is only the second match of this dual meet to go into the third period. Davidson leading 8-1.
Well,
he doesn't look too happy about it going into the third period.
He hasn't pinned this kid yet, and he's in the third period. I guess that qualifies. Aggressive tie up there.
Kirtland wrestling exceptionally well tonight. You know, I think with an effort like this last week against Independence, that match might have ended differently. Mm-hmm. But that was exciting nonetheless. It was some great wrestling we witnessed last week. Oh, absolutely. Nice takedown by Davidson. 10-1.
Really nice knee pick from an underhook tie-up that Davidson had. And now we're in range of a major decision as it's 12-1. Or 12-1, 10-1. 10-1. I don't know why I said 12. Davidson looking for a cradle. See, this does two things. Even if Clayton can't get the cradle, it stops Weinrieber from doing anything. So Weinrieber's not going to score. And they stop it for potentially dangerous. 36 seconds left in the match. Davidson with a 10-1 lead. Liberty coaches telling Weinrieber to stand up. It's easier said than done.
I'm pretty sure we'll have a forfeit at 182 pounds.
Yeah.
So our next match should be Anthony Porter at 195 versus either Patrick Sturgeon or Gavin Nickel from Liberty, both seniors.
Davidson again getting the legs in. He's gotten high twice, but he really adjusts well afterward. Drops to a leg. And in the crowd you could hear the voice of Doug Davidson, Clayton's father, a Kirtland grad as well. He wrestled for Kirtland, I believe, in the 80s.
That's a 10-1 major decision for Clayton. That's going to give Kirtland a 49-6 lead heading into the 182-pound bout, which again will be a forfeit from Kirtland. I don't know who Liberty's going to send out. We'll find out in a moment. I do see another score from a Division II regional, Peninsula Woodridge 65, Chagrin Falls 5. Lake Catholics trailing Ravenna Southeast 24-16. So that's Patrick Sturgeon from Liberty receiving a forfeit at 182. That'll make it 49-15. Kirtland still in the lead and already sealed. We've got
at 195 pounds for Kirtland, Anthony Porter, a senior. He is 14-8. He was third at Northwestern, fifth at South.
Perry defeated West Yaga 71-9.
Jeez.
The Pirates now await the winner of that Ravenna Southeast Lake Catholic match.
Perry's a well-oiled machine at this point.
Yes, they are. Coach Rowan, you know, when I was in high school, Coach Rowan, I think it was a year above me, but he was always one of the meanest 112-pounders you'd ever see.
And now his son, his little son, was a youth state champion.
Oh, how about that? I didn't know that.
Porter in on a body lock. He gets it, and he takes the Liberty wrestler right to his back.
Another score out in Division I. Menor defeated Euclid 62-18. There's the fall for Porter, 42 seconds in. Kirtland in the pins tonight. How about that? It's now Kirtland 55-15 heading into the 220-pound bout.
You know, it's interesting that in the Kirtland versus Newbury duel, Newbury won 5 bouts. Liberty, with 2 bouts to go, has won 2.
Wrestling for Liberty at 220. Brendan Rios. Wrestling for Kirtland at 220. Dylan Chay.
This will be an interesting one. At 220 pounds for Kirtland, we have Dylan Chay, a junior, 7 and 8. He was second at Northwestern. For Liberty, we have Brandon Rios, a junior, 9 and 14. Very different body types, and it sure looks like they're very different styles.
Now the crowd getting into it.
Chay, a power wrestler, wants to tie up, wants to go upper body and throw. Rios, it looks like, doesn't want any part of that. He wants to use his speed. He wants to move quickly. And he does. Holy cow.
That was just a man takedown.
Yes, it was. Jeez, oh, man.
It wasn't the most graceful of things, but it was effective.
It was explosive, I'll tell you that. That, you know what that is? That is an athlete at that weight class.
That's Brandon
Absolutely.
Rios just saying, you know what, I'm going to take him down, and he took him down.
that was a Chris Canis right there.
It was. It wasn't the most technically efficient takedown or the technically sound takedown, but it sure worked.
Now, if I'm Dylan Chay, I am tying him up as much as humanly possible.
And I think Dylan's taking your advice, and he's looking for that trip. If he can get those underhooks, jack it up again. Rios, he's kind of standing straight up, which is going to play into what Dylan Chay's trying to do. He's got to get into a better stance.
Absolutely, and Chay's got to keep his elbows in as well. Rios.
It's almost like he heard you, Dan. Look at him keep those elbows tight.
There you go. Chay does not have to push the action. He has to win his advantageous positions, or make the positions advantageous for him. And he's got to not get gassed either.
Right. And that's the hard part about these bigger guys is,
Yep.
They're not 120 pounds. It takes a lot to move those big bodies. A lot more oxygen to feed the muscles.
Well, not only that, but Chay hasn't been really wrestling because he's been injured, and
Correct.
so his lungs might not be fully, 100% there.
4-1. Second period. Kirtland leading 55-12.
Rios gets his choice. He will choose bottom. Chay on top. Rios comes up immediately. Very nice.
Oh,
Gets
to
the hip
the back.
toss.
Brandon Rios is going to be a dangerous wrestler in the postseason.
That's exactly what I was thinking.